Hey, Daph. Good to have you. We'll be getting on to some coaching in a moment here. My student is on the way. Just gonna do some warm up for myself.
Now traveling to Petra.
I can win!
Taking the lead.
Oh, wow, that was a nice shot.
Traveling to Eichenwald. Prepare for battle. Select your hero. Three, two, one.
I can win! I'm not a good loser. I'll shoot you down. Bailing out. I'm not a good loser.
Enemy lead. Pick few kills to win.
Suiting up. I'll show them. Bailing out. That was for my eyes.
Hello, welcome.
Hello.
I'm back in the game.
All right, let's get started. How you doing tonight?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can. You're coming through very clearly.
Okay. Sorry about the time.
No worries. It's pretty confusing. I don't think it actually tells you what time zone things are in.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be updating that. You're not the only one who's been confused.
That's good.
Okay, so I just want to go over some basic information first to make sure that I know what direction we're heading in here. So I
Okay.
read over the form you filled out when you signed up, and you said you wanted to work on sort of basics of engaging and disengaging and how to counter stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of new to like the whole gaming, like PC gaming.
Oh, okay,
Um,
okay.
so I think I've been playing for like 8 months. So I just like kind of want to get better. I feel like I'm good, but I want to get even better. So,
All right.
and I think like trying to stay alive.
Yes. I need to go ahead and add you here so that I can pull you into the same game. I had your battle tag. 1 second.
Mhm.
Here we go. Okay. And so, just to confirm, what rank are you playing at? So you've played competitive then? And
I
oh, you
have
have.
a few
Okay.
times.
All right. Did you get my invite?
Yes.
Perfect. So, what I'd like to start by doing. So I know you said you're pretty new to this, but having played for like if this were your first couple days sitting down playing games, it'd be completely different. But I don't think you're like you're saying you think you're pretty good. I think you after 8 months would have at least the basics down. So we don't need to focus on even how to do stuff. But we can talk about whatever you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're probably selling yourself a little short there, saying you're new to PC gaming. Um, were you able to accept my invite?
Yeah. On
Yeah, I'm
your
on
friend
a.
request?
Yes, my friend request is coming from an account called SciKnight, but spelled differently.
Yeah, I accepted it.
Are you? Oh, I see. You're not in Overwatch right now.
Oh, let me get in.
Yeah. So what we'll want to do here, the easiest way for me to see what we need to work on is if I could
Mhm.
just watch you play. And then in
Okay,
real
yeah.
time we can talk about what's going on and you can ask me questions and then we'll take turns and I'll after watching and seeing what you're struggling with, I will hop into a game and you'll watch me and I'll explain why I'm doing the things that I'm doing to try and help you out.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. And just so you know as well, I mean I can turn it off if you'd like, but I am streaming this, so you'll have a recording to look back on later to see, well, everything we were talking about. So
Okay.
no need to take notes. All right, so go ahead and just hop into a quick play game and select the hero that you want help with. In this case, Diva, right?
Mhm. So I chose tank.
Awesome. Yep.
So I play with a few other, but like she's the main one I play with.
Cool.
Traveling to Hanamura.
So at this point, I've been playing Diva for over 3 years.
Oh,
And
okay.
almost exclusively just Diva. Although I can play every character in the game well enough, but I would say I've come as close as anyone has to mastering at least this one hero. Um, so I can tell you for sure there's plenty of room to grow,
No one's beating my high scores.
and that's definitely one of the things I enjoy about Overwatch the most is exactly that. There's so much potential to keep getting better at something just
All
by
systems operational.
working and training harder, just kind of like in real life, like with real sports or anything. You can always work to improve your skill or your ability, your knowledge of something, and see the impacts of that training, that effort, the dedication you put in.
Yeah.
All right, so for the first couple of minutes here, I'm not going to be commenting at all. Just play normally, and I'm just going to be doing my best to analyze and see what's going on, and then I'll start offering some pointers and tips.
Capture objective
Let's get you back out there.
All right, so things I'm seeing already is just for the record. So she, going by SR, I saw on the account, she's bronze, but her target acquisition and aim is decent, but common mistake at earlier ranks is just not paying attention to your health pool. So this is one of the things we'll be working. Like she's able to acquire and take out targets pretty easily, but awareness of health is not quite there. Like so, right there, health going down should have been backing up already. I wasn't gonna have an impact. That'll be a really easy thing to work on, and should make a big difference in making sure you're alive when things are actually happening. Let's see here. Using Matrix without any incoming damage. So I think what we're going to end up working on here... Okay. I think I see what we're doing. Alright. Okay. So, don't worry if I'm distracting you here. I'm not... I'll take that into account. Don't feel like you're under pressure to play well or anything. But I just wanted to start giving you my analysis of kind of what I'm seeing here. And
Okay.
I'll start by saying, first off, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by your ability to acquire targets quickly and aim, just like you did right there, taking out the turrets. But because that's the much harder thing to teach someone how to do. That's just basically mechanical skill that you will develop over time. But something that you can easily improve right now is just this: paying attention to your health bar. So there isn't much feedback to you. Like in some games, your screen will get all bloody or whatever as you take damage. In Overwatch, your health bar goes down and your character makes a few noises. You don't really have much visual feedback. But learning when you're taking a lot of damage so that you don't die unnecessarily will make a big difference in how well you're able to take advantage of different situations that arise, and just in general be useful to your team and the game.
Okay.
So already you can just start by paying attention to when you think you're taking damage. Even if you haven't taken that much damage, you might feel like you are. You'll start to get a feel for that when you get hit by abilities. You want to glance down and try to not necessarily go for health packs all the time, but like find your healers or find
Okay.
cover. But stop taking damage is the key. Yeah. Honestly, even though you didn't get that kill, your ability to track in and get even close to that, that was a pretty good maneuver. I mean, timing wasn't all there, but we can work on timing in a little bit. In general, I'm still just commenting on your mechanics. Pretty good for the rank you're at. But you're not giving yourself enough time to capitalize on those mechanics because you're going in when you don't have full health. You're going in when, you know, at full health you might be able to survive for 5 seconds. You're going in with only 2 seconds worth of health, if that makes sense. So you won't be able to get a kill. So, okay.
I do have to admit that's something I don't pay attention to. I don't ever look at where the healers are.
Okay. So, what you should focus on, rather than where your healers are, is making sure that you have time to find your healers. So you always know where you have cover, right? You could go to either left or right of these pillars on this gate, and boom, you're safe. So when you lost your mech there, you could have made that maneuver, but you just sort of sat there and took all the damage from the enemy team. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about here, is keeping in mind kind of your position and where you could go to keep yourself alive. So right now you're completely safe. You could be walking in a little bit more. You're not taking any damage. You're at full health. That'd be a great time to fly in. They're all low. Just get in there and start finishing them off. Yeah, this is perfect. That's exactly it. So, all right. So that's very good what you did there, being able to fly away and save yourself. But at the same time, Diva's really special in that she has an ability that will just delete that entire ultimate and many ultimates if you time it right. So you could have potentially saved your team and yourself, just sat there and then used your defense matrix rather than running away.
Okay.
So that's just a situational sort of thing. I want to try and teach you broader ways of thinking rather than just, you know, situational play-by-play, you know, how to counter individual things. I mean, we'll get to that a little bit, but you'll see a much bigger impact to your overall gameplay from learning sort of rules of engagement. So right here, you're still pretty full health and your team's in there. You should go in further. Just keep going in. Yeah, so... Oh, okay. I like how you're thinking. Nice, okay.
Victory.
All right, so I can tell you already the things we're going to work on here are just awareness of yourself. We're not even talking about broader game awareness. A term called game sense that will get thrown around a lot as you try to improve. We're just going to talk about self-awareness here. So that means keeping track of your ability cooldowns, keeping track of your health bar, and then keeping track of where you are on the map. Okay? So that's all kind of tied into... I'd say that's 30% of this topic of game sense. So the other two parts of that we'll get to are going to be awareness of the enemy team and awareness of your own team. Okay, so starting off right now, I'm gonna just queue into a quick play game. So this is, I believe, one of my lowest elo accounts. So but it's still gonna be much higher than where you're playing at. So the level of competition I'll be facing is gonna be a lot harder than what you're used to, but I'll still be able to highlight the principles I'm talking about here.
Okay.
Traveling to Numba.
Okay.
Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
So you can right click on my on me and spectate. I am in the game now.
It shows me in a game, so should I get out?
Oh yeah, leave your game. Leave your game.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. And then from your social menu, right click on me and spectate.
Okay.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
A moment to enjoy some peace and quiet. Probably just a moment.
All right, and you'll want to spectate from first person. If you don't know how to toggle the view, you hit spacebar. Once you're highlighted me. Any questions so far?
5, 4,
You all set up spectating?
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
If you're talking, I don't think your mic is picking up.
There.
Okay, I can hear you. And you're able to see from my perspective now?
Hold on.
Enemy contact.
There I am.
Okay. So... most of the time I go on and just kind of be with my team, in the middle of my team, and if I notice that I take a lot of damage, instead of just staying where I am or walking forward, so there I just took some damage, I'm just gonna walk backwards and try and give my team some time to heal me. And your healer should be looking for you as a tank. You're one of the primary targets that they're gonna want to heal. And the rest of the time I'm just gonna kind of exist in the middle here and shoot at whatever is up there. So I'm not taking damage, but I'm keeping track of my health bar. I just took a lot of damage. It's not that bad, so I can sort of stay here. I see them. So I'm not gonna be okay. So I just took a whole bunch of damage all at once, so I instinctively put up my defense matrix to try and protect myself a little bit, and then it's not so bad, so I don't have to fly off to safety. So there's a lot of opportunities to make many more aggressive plays than I'm going to here. What I wanted to focus on, though, is just the basics, is kind of how to exist with your team. Oh, I should have protected her. I should have a matrix on there, and I was a little too close to the wall, so it didn't quite connect. I wasn't able to keep her alive. So, look, all I'm doing here is, oh, I see, yeah, so if I see my team in trouble, I can walk forward and put up my defense matrix and hopefully protect them. Otherwise, I see I'm taking a lot of damage, so I'm going to turn around and fly away from the action. I'm going to fly away from what's doing damage to me. And the rest of the time, I'm just sort of walking, I'm taking a lot of damage, I put up my matrix, and then I'm going to walk to cover. My teammate's taking damage, I put up my matrix. Okay, now I'm just sort of standing here with my team. So I'm not...
You can use the defense matrix like on an actual teammate?
Yep, you can put it completely over them. So here, I'm taking a lot of damage, so I'm just trying to block and get to cover. So I use that to walk myself back to cover without taking more damage. And then when I was far enough away, I flew away from the enemy.
Okay.
Taking a lot of damage. I see a lot of people coming at me. I'm not going to wait for all the damage to hit if I have the feeling that I'm going to be in a bad spot. So that's something you'll just sort of learn to recognize with experience and through time. For right now, let's focus just purely on watching the health bar and when I decide to back up versus just holding my ground. So here, I want to prioritize the stuff that's potentially going to hurt my team. Oh, I'm taking damage. Matrix, that's a dangerous spot. And I'm going to back up a little bit, see if I can help my team out. Anything I see that's low health, I'm trying to shoot at as well. But otherwise, I'm just kind of sitting here in the middle, not really doing anything. I took damage there, so I'm trying to make sure I don't take any more, and then I'm going to fly away a little bit. And again, just sort of existing here. Now, the key to effective D.Va gameplay, though, is balancing this defensive gameplay with offensive gameplay. So when do you go in, right? So right now, so that's a good cue. If I get nanoed, that's a great cue. Now, at the same time, this is a great way to lead my team back in. Yeah, unfortunate. No one else was there. But so those are the big cues. If you have another, so I took a lot of damage. I'm seeing that I'm low. I put up my matrix and start walking away from the fight. I don't want to take my eyes off of the front line for too long. I was there, took a lot of damage again. I'm going to back up now. D.Va isn't meant to just be on the front line alone. The only way you're supposed to do that is with a friendly tank. See, I didn't get out quite fast enough, so I ended up losing my mech. And when you're out of mech, you're effectively useless. You can't do anything for your team. You might get a little bit of extra damage in, but it's not nearly as much as you do if you're in your mech. So really, everything I'm doing is to try and maintain a presence on the with my team, but not risk my life. Because as soon as I'm down, they can use all their ultimates, all their abilities without worry because there's nothing that can block it. Like, when D.Va is alive, you can block entire ultimates. Like, if I had my whole matrix there, this guy wouldn't be doing any damage. Luckily, the rest of my team countered a little bit. So I noticed we get, once we had the advantage there by getting, oh my gosh, my aim. Once we had the advantage even a little bit, I'm gonna start walking forward and trying to take these fights. D.Va is really good at 1v1s. She can 1v1 like 2/3 of the heroes very easily with minimal risk to herself. There we go. He's in a bad spot, so I'm trying to protect him. And even got my body in there to try and help out a little bit after my matrix went away. Matrix there, you see it? Just protect the Mercy. It's just because I'm existing here. They can't use their abilities freely. So I could have used my ult right there. You probably saw the opportunity too. They're all right there. It's a big open space, but I didn't because I'm going to show you here how to use it more defensively. Here, I can't get healed. We're getting pushed aggressively. So I'm going to put my ult down. And look, my team now has all this time to back up and reset while the enemy team has to back up as well. So using your ultimate as a defensive ability like that, also just to get your mech back and maintain mech uptime is very important. So I'm not playing aggressively here at all, but we're able to hold the enemy team. And yeah, I guess you could say it's because we're on defense, so it's really well suited to that play style. But this is effective no matter what. Even on offense, just existing, helping your team set up without getting yourself killed. So there, I see a lot of abilities coming at me. I don't want to wait until I'm taking a lot of damage before I back up. And even then, it wasn't enough. I was still too far up. So what I'm going to be thinking in my head is, okay, next time I want to back out even sooner. I want to play a little bit further back. They're obviously better than I gave them credit for. I shouldn't be risking myself because now they can push much more freely. Luckily, I'm able to build up my my mech and get back to the fight before they do anything, though. So here, just being on the front line, if I see my team taking a lot of damage, I can put in my matrix, prevent him. Oh, I didn't block the sleep somehow. That's a miss on my part. Oh, and that's just carelessness on my part. That's what happens when when I'm not paying attention to my health bar. And there are some heroes where you're gonna have your timing kind of thrown off, and one of those is Zenyatta, because he'll put the Discord orb on you, right? And that means you take an increased 30% damage. So you're gonna die 30% faster than you're expecting. So you kind of just have to be expecting when they have a Zenyatta that you can't sit there, and that's really bad. I'm not even gonna call my mech. There's no way I'll survive that, and I'll just give them more ult charge. The Mercy said sorry to me. That's great.
I have to admit, when I play Mercy, I do that sometimes.
So even just playing passively like that, I ended up with gold eliminations and silver damage. Not that medals really mean anything, but yeah, hopefully you can see there a little bit more what you're supposed to do. I don't expect you to be able to copy any of the mechanical or technical stuff I'm doing. It's just sort of what you need to pay attention to and the mindset that you want to be focusing on here.
Yeah.
All right. Questions, comments, thoughts right now?
I did like you like kind of being in the middle. Like I think I go a little bit more like one-on-one versus kind of staying in the middle like the way you did, and like kind of looking around at who needs matrix, who doesn't, like where I need to shoot. I just kind of focus more on like one player, and then like I go at them. And so I think I need to do more of that, of just being more in the middle, like you said.
Okay, well, there's
Like
nothing
being
wrong with being on
present.
the side, but
Mhm.
but I would say you need to be closer. So I'm thinking back to when I saw you on Hanamura earlier. On the second point, you kind of stood off of the point, right? Where
Mhm.
the correct place to be would be straight up in the middle. Or at least much closer, like right on the edge of the point. You were still on the bridge or near the entrance, just sort of shooting from range there. But where you
Mhm.
want to be in order to, first of all, be able to matrix your teammates and support them, or put directly smother an enemy, right? If you put the matrix on someone like McCree, he literally can't do anything for a couple of seconds. You block
Mhm.
everything. There's no chance of you missing.
Mhm.
There are two things that you want to be in range for, right? There's your damage, your guns. You have shotguns. They are close range weapons. They have a lot of damage fall off, so you're not going to do hardly any damage at all unless you're in like 5 to 10 meter range. But notice how I focused on matrix there, because that's the much more important ability to be able to use in there. For instance, just everything, or the majority of what I was commenting on in that previous gameplay, not just because it's more important, but because that's really all I'm thinking about. I'm only thinking about protecting my team and or protecting myself with Matrix, and then
Mhm.
occasionally there'll be an opportunity like, oh, yep, this person is really low. Okay, time to fly in and clean them up. Or when my team is putting on the pressure and we happen to get the first pick, then you start thinking about, oh, okay, tunnel visioning in. You remember I commented on how you did you did a dive on the McCree on Hanamura, and even though you didn't get him, that was a well executed dive. Flying at him, shooting, and all that. Um, just not at the right time. So
Yeah. I don't know why I've never really used the matrix, only on Reaper. I guess I didn't know that I could use it for every player.
Yeah, it'll block any projectile. It only doesn't block beams. So any gunfire or projectile will be eaten by defense matrix. And
Okay.
like theoretically, the best way to block the damage, let's say the enemy Reaper is going off, right? You could just put your matrix on your teammate, but it's much more effective to just smother the source, right?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
that's where the damage is coming from, the smallest area, and it's easiest to control.
Mhm.
But you can't do that if you're too far away from the action.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So, and then the other thing to pay attention to, you are a tank that has incredible maneuverability and spatial control. You can fly. You can be almost anywhere you want all the time. And one of the biggest buffs that Diva has ever gotten was a few months ago when they reduced her booster cooldown from 5 seconds to 3 seconds, and that was just OP. So they made it 4 seconds, which is still really, really good.
Mhm.
So you should be like a lot of the time just walking around, but use your boost to allow yourself to be in deeper, right? Be in more of the thick of things, but then
Mhm.
get out of those bad situations more reliably.
Mhm.
So it can be kind of a panic button, the same way you saw me a few times. Oh, I'm taking damage. Okay, Matrix is up. I walk backwards, and then when I get closer to the corner, I turn and fly away.
Okay.
Right? You don't want to just fly away too soon, because if you're in too deep, they can still do a lot of damage to you in that amount of time that you're flying out. So you want
Mhm.
to use your Matrix there first, usually.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, hop into a quick play, and I
Okay.
will watch again, and I'm gonna be commenting on your awareness of your health and then where you're positioning yourself. And from what I can see and the way you describe your play, I feel like you already are gonna know and be able to act on the situations where you should be going in. So it's really just the situations where you should be getting out, right? That if you can stay alive more, you will
Mhm.
learn the game so much more quickly because you'll have more chances to see the opportunities where you should be going in, right? So we'll start with this.
Okay.
Okay, I'm coming to spectate.
Welcome to Oasis.
Tempest fugit.
I'm ready to kill.
Five, four, three, two, one. Round one. Capture the objective.
Yep, nice, just staying with your team.
I have your back.
So I'd be in even closer, be next to your Sigma. Right there, I don't really think you should have been using your boost. You need to save your boost for when you're getting out. The only time you need to use your boost is either to save yourself, save a teammate, or go after someone who's out of range of your abilities.
Okay.
Everyone was right there, well within range, so you just removed your only option to escape, and they were able to finish you off as soon as you stopped moving. Yeah, just staying with the team. This is good. You want to be where you can kind of see some of your team. You don't want to be completely at the front. So this is exactly right, where you can tell where the other people in your team are a little bit. Okay, you're a little too far back now. I'd be up. Just be walking forward. Just walking forward a little bit. Get a little closer to your Zarya. So you don't need to spend all that time walking towards her when you can fly. Right? You want to get to your team to help them accomplish things. Yeah, I like it. I like it. You got this. Good job. That was great. That was very, very well executed. Nice. I like how you ate the Moira orb so she didn't get healed by it. Good. Just existing in here and shooting at anything that moves. Oh. Nice. Yep, just being in the middle of it. This is perfect. And they're giving up because you're getting kills, you're doing damage. That was pretty much perfect. You're exactly where you need to be there.
I think a bad habit I need to not do is, like you said, is use the boost to like just fly around. I tend to do that
I see that
lot.
a lot. Yeah, that's very common. It's tempting because you do this little bit of knockback. It does a little bit of damage. It seems effective, but really, it's just so much more valuable as a panic button, or turning yourself into a seeking killer missile. What you're doing now is completely fine. Okay, you're getting low on health there. Hey, I like it. Fly away to safety. Now, if possible, you generally want to aim towards where your team is. You took yourself away from your team and split yourself off, so that wasn't ideal. But it's the right idea. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, the timing on getting out was good. You just need to maybe spend an extra split second looking for where your team is. So as much as you want to group up, if you don't go in now, you're gonna lose. So you need to touch the point. Just jump into the point. Fly into the point right now, just to stall. You need to touch the point still. Oh, cool. So even though you got the kill there on that Winston, the better play would have been to simply go into the point and survive for as long as you could. And then when you lose your mech, to use your ultimate to buy more time for your team.
Okay.
So you get in there and be able to survive for a few seconds, then use your ult and back them off, hopefully, and then get your mech again and stall even longer, and hopefully by then your team is in or what have you. Maybe even get a kill with the ult, but the goal there would be to stall.
Okay. I think like at times I panic and then I'm like, oh, let me just throw it.
Oh yeah, believe me, there's still plenty of times that I panic and just do something and immediately regret it, or like it sounded like a good idea at the time. But what will help you the most is learning from those situations, not just letting it go and go, oh well, but going, taking it hard on yourself and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Okay, next time I'm gonna make an effort not to do that. And,
yeah.
And you'll start to see yourself improve. It's just, yeah, kind of how that works. All right, this is good. Just kind of being with your team. There's no need to be going anywhere until you see an opportunity. Boom, the kill just came right to you. There, she's low, good. Yep, just hanging out here. Make them come to you. You're already where you need to be. This is a control point. You need to be on the control point. And then you just be looking for anything that's potentially dangerous or a good opportunity. So you have the freedom to play up a little bit further now that they've backed up. You can just walk forward. Don't use any abilities. Just come up here. Oh, now that you're taking damage, you're watching your health. Well, good. You see, because you pushed up a little bit, you were able to get that extra bit of damage in and get a kill. And you didn't die, which is fantastic. That's peak diva gameplay right there. So there, you're taking damage. I like you backed up, use your matrix. Yep, taking a lot of damage. Good job backing out. If I were you, as much as possible, I would try not to turn around like that. You back up while using your matrix to cover your front. That way you're not taking any damage. And then if you have to turn around, you should be flying backwards. You don't want to be leaving your back just exposed while you slowly waddle your way off the point. good. Yep, you kind of have to wait for your Orisa to take some space, but you can also range forward a little bit because, again, you have the ability to get out of bad situations. So you can walk forward a little bit more. Okay, you don't want to be taking one-on-ones really until you know you can get a kill. Okay, get in there a little bit further. You're not going to be so effective from so far back. This is one of those mop-up opportunities where your team already got a few kills. There's only a few people left. You should be just walking in forward and trying to hunt everyone down. This is good. Right on the front line. You're taking a lot of damage. Fly away. Matrix and fly away. There we go. Okay. Or okay. Yeah, that worked out. Okay. Oh. So you got the nano boost there. Diva with a nano boost is a force to be reckoned with. You can just look at people and they will melt.
So I should have waited to throw the ult.
Yeah, basically her entire ult didn't do anything because it doesn't have any interaction with Diva's ultimate. So it didn't boost the damage. So yeah, there was no value out of it. So you should try and pay attention a little bit to when there's stuff flanking your team. Like I believe there's still a Roadhog behind you. Yep, he's there on the left, just cleaning up your back line. Not saying that would have changed how the fight went, but the priority should always be whatever's causing your team problems in the back line. There you go. Getting out. Don't need to stay there. Just keep backing up until you're full health. Oh, unfortunate. Rule of thumb when you're out of mech, you want to be as far away as possible while still having an angle on the enemy. So, I'll try and show you a little bit of what that looks like. So, go ahead and leave this game. I'm going to queue into one now, and I'll explain some more specific stuff for you.
Okay.
Any questions about, like, well, any of what we're talking about so far?
No.
A lot of this is pretty simple. It's just, like, it's easy to understand the theory, but then another thing entirely to build
Actually
the muscle
do it.
memory, the trained reactions to this different situations in the game, yeah. But
Yeah, because it's like trying to undo what you've already been doing
Yep.
for the past month, and then you telling me, and I get it, but then when I get in it, my old habit wants to
oh
like
yeah, for
do.
sure.
So it's just a matter of just basically training myself, like you
Mhm.
said, to not do that again.
Yep, like once you know what it looks like when it's correct, you can catch yourself when you've done it the wrong way. So you can come in, you can
Which,
spectate now.
when I threw that ult, when the point was about to end, I realized I shouldn't have done that, because then I made myself vulnerable to get killed,
Yep.
and then I got killed.
Yep. That's exactly it. Are you spectating yet?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. All right, so we're on attack, so you can see the other side of gameplay here. So I'm basically going to be doing exactly what I was doing before. It's a little different because my team is going to tell me when to move up because we have a dive tank here. So until he does, so he's in there, I can be safely up here. You notice I'm not taking too much damage. I'm taking a lot of damage now, Matrix, and backing up. So now I'm playing back a little bit further until I'm full healed, and as I'm getting healed up again, I'm moving forward, walking forward, and taking a lot of damage, so I'm backing up now. And I'm just, as much as possible, oh, nope, taking a lot of damage, didn't back up fast enough. And I lost my mech. And now I'm out of mech, I'm gonna keep backing up and just keep shooting as much as I can. Oh gosh. Oh, he knocked her right into me. That's unfortunate. It's okay. So there's two ways to get your mech really quickly. One is just be amazing at Diva. The other is die.
All systems check out.
So I'm just kind of being up as far forward as I can so I can do maximum damage and breaking shields. Right. Okay, that's a scary, scary thing right there. Nano Briggs, I'm just gonna back out. I don't want to take too much damage. Yeah, still taking a lot of damage. My team's not all here. We're not grouped up. So if I'm gonna do little bits of damage from long range, nope, I don't want to do that. I'm still half health. Matrix and back behind cover. Wait till I'm healed up a little bit more. Okay, yeah. Where is our Hammond? Oh, he's in the backlight, so he's going in now. So pushed him back into the mines a little bit. That's a great cue to move in. And then I'm just picking a target now and shooting at it. Checking, make sure there's nothing behind. And my Hammond's going in more, so I'm gonna go in more. I know there's someone behind me. I don't want to let someone just sit behind me, taking a lot of damage. All we need to do is cap the point, so I just come right back. I can be up a little bit further. Nope, too far forward. So I have to be a lot more mobile when I have a Hammond on my team. It's the same thing when there's a Winston.
I noticed that you're kind of more with him, where I kind of let him go up by himself.
See, when he's in there on his own, I'm not taking any damage. Look, they're all focused on him, right? So, oh, now he's gone. I have no one to take that fire away from me. Now, ideally, when you're in together, you're keeping him alive longer so you can both exist longer because you'll matrix for him and so forth, right?
Yeah.
That was a bad idea. I should not have used my ult there. That's not going to do anything for us, hardly. I did force them to stay here a little bit longer. Maybe we can capitalize on this. So another thing I can do is I can deny him healing by, oh goodness, by putting my matrix on him. Whoa, taking a lot of damage still, so I'm just backing out there. Okay. So now we have a Roadhog instead of a Hammond. So it's going to be a lot more just playing on the front lines here, trying to do as much damage as we can. Oh, there's an ultimate. I'm going to walk forward a little bit, get a little bit more aggressive because they can't stay here. And I'm going to be getting healed a lot from it. So I can stay up here without as much worry. So my team's doing something over here. I'm just going to go over and see what's going on. If I start hearing someone take damage or there's something, yep. So we're moving with the advantage. I can easily push up and help get that kill. That's not good. We don't want to be taking that Widow on from long range, so I'm backing up. But, you know, I'm here with my Roadhog. I can keep him from taking extra damage. Just sort of play safely with him here. No need to let him take that fire strike. I can get a little bit of damage here. Oh, he's in a tough spot. Oof. Okay, I'm not able to be healed right now, so I'm going to play safer. Okay, there we go. So this is a good spot to use my ult aggressively. Because there's not much cover for them there. At least the McCree. Oops, gave her the health back. So, I really shouldn't have done that. Maybe if I were more warmed up or more on top of things, I would have been able to get that kill. But that wasn't really necessary. I could have just sat with my team and had a much bigger impact by preventing the enemy team from being able to just walk into us. Whoa. Nope, don't want to take damage. No need to do unnecessary things like give the enemy their ultimates. Roadhog's going that way. I should go with him, but if the rest of my team is right here, we're just going to walk forward and keep them from dying to unnecessary. I'm sort of timing it with the Widow shot, so even if I'm not blocking every one of them, I'm going to block every other shot. And Widow is a very easy target to go one-on-one with, but I don't need to pursue it into the whole enemy team. Here we go. I'm gonna. So if I'd been there with my Roadhog, I would have been able to prevent him from getting stunned. So you saw that little boost I did. I didn't continue. I canceled it so that I didn't go too far. So I'm stopping myself short so I'm not too far in, so that I can back out safely. Same thing here. Just go in a little bit, and just kind of exist and harass. Oh, that's a Reinhardt ult. Okay, I'm taking way too much damage. Back up a little bit. Hopefully I can get healed. Nope. I'm gonna use my ultimate though, just that I have my mech. And that was a little bit of a waste because we had just cleaned them all up. In a bigger fight though, being able to just get straight back into your mech is very useful. And this will still be useful because I don't have to wait in order to get back to the fight here. I can be okay. I'm taking a lot of damage. Back up. Still taking a lot of damage. Back up more. I'm just gonna keep walking forward until I take a lot of damage. Up, taking a lot of damage. Back up. Hide. Using cover here. I'm gonna do more damage. Do more damage. Do more damage. Using cover. Just doing damage. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Backing up, even safer. Okay, now I've got my supports with me, so they should be able to keep me in. Yep, this is a good opportunity. Oh no, they got the fire strike off. Okay.
Heroes never die.
D.Va doesn't need to be the one to initiate a fight. That like Roadhog can get a pick, our Genji can go in like that. We have other abilities that can do that. All I need to do is be there to help make it happen, right? So there, I helped capitalize on that kill because I was there to follow up. And I can just always make sure that the Reinhardt shield is weaker. Oh, yeah, there's really nothing we're going to be able to do against that if we don't have our own Reinhardt shield. Okay, we may just be, no, we're completely dead here. So if possible, I'm just gonna back out all the way so they don't get extra ultimate charge. But at the same time, I'm not gonna just go into spawn so that my healers can get charge.
Oh. Okay.
I'm blocking damage there just to make sure they don't get unnecessary ult charge, but I'm making sure that by the time we get into a full fight, I'm gonna have my whole matrix available so that I can get away safely. So here, we're gonna do some damage, get things ready, and we'll just go for it now. Oh, that's not good. They didn't block. We had nothing to block the McCree. That's so unfortunate. That's the big risk. So the safer play is always just to be in mech and use your ultimate defensively. Because it's very hard to ever guarantee that throwing it in. Oh my gosh, my team's not with me here. Oh yeah, everyone's dead, or my healers were somewhere else. So that was a mistake, trying to take a 1v1 when we didn't have the advantage. So all we can do here is hope to reset. I'm just using my boost now to make sure I get back to my team in the correct position as quickly as I can here. Okay, now we're starting to walk forward. Just putting up consistent damage. Oh, taking a lot up. Nope. That's unlucky. At this point, we probably won't even be able to touch. I don't really have the option of backing up because I just gotta kind of push forward and hope I can get somewhere. All right. So basically, the things that were working were when I was able to play safely and not lose my mech. And then the times that you saw me push in or be too aggressive up at the front and I lose my mech, the team gets rolled. So just staying alive, they can't do whatever they want. They won't be able to just use abilities. They'll get a lot less ultimate charge. One of the problems is, though, if you're going to play correctly in this style, if you don't have a Reinhardt on your team, or you're not just rolling through them, every time the Reinhardt on the enemy team gets his ultimate, you're basically going to be a free wipe. But even though that was the case for the entire game, we still won many fights there until we just couldn't figure it out at the end. So it can work, and I've made it work many times. For instance, just playing dive against that comp, that should be completely fine, honestly. We just didn't really have any coordination for it. So yeah, but big takeaway there is playing defensively isn't the whole story there. It's playing defensively to wait for those offensive opportunities, and at a certain point you got to wait for your team to create those. So like when Moira uses her ult, or when I saw that the Hammond would go and pile drive into the enemy team, and all of a sudden they're all focusing on him instead of me, I can get closer and do a lot of damage. So yeah, you want to be looking for those opportunities to be able to push the boundary forward, and then ideally, once the two tanks have moved up, the rest of the team follows in, because there's all this space and all these targets that are now a little bit low, and they can go, oh wow, I can go get these kills, and the whole team moves. That's kind of how Overwatch flows.
Okay.
All right. And very little did you ever see me have to look for my healers, right? I just sort of backed up the same way I came from, right? Because if the team is following and doing things the way they should be, that's where they'll be, right behind you. Yeah. All right. Questions?
No, we're good.
Cool. Couple options. You can so you can either spectate another one from me, or I can watch and critique another one from you. What do you think?
I think I want to try.
Okay, go for it.
See, just let you see.
Yeah. No, this is the formula. You do one, I do one. You do one, and then after a little while, like just you doing more, because you know what it looks like now, right? You have an idea for it. Even if you never worked with me again and just continued to work on the things we talked about, you will get better. You will improve. You will build upon what you've learned. And like you don't need to see more of what I've done. You'll be able to extrapolate a lot from just that, and then the stuff that you'll now learn from this new way of thinking. So, yeah, more gameplay the better is really the solution to improving here.
Traveling to Havana. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero. Heal up. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
All right, this will probably be the last game we do during this session.
Okay.
And then we'll recap at the end, and you can ask any questions you have. So again, just focusing on kind of just being with your team and paying attention to when you're in a bad spot, and kind of having an idea for where you should back up to before you have to. So already I would say you shouldn't be right in the middle here. Maybe get closer to the wall on the right side. Be a little closer to cover. See where your hog is on this side. There you go. So now if you're taking damage, there's a lot more in the way of options. Yeah, so generally you'll want to play exactly here, where if you start taking damage, you can back around this corner, and then further if you need to. That was good. So you're taking a lot of damage. Good, you backed up. Nice. Taking a lot of damage. Matrix. So yeah, you want to work on your reflexive use of Matrix. You see a lot of stuff coming in. It should be your panic button to just, oh no, something's happening. Right click. And stuff no longer kills you. Oh, most of the stuff. Nice shot, by the way. Yep. Perfect. Yeah, staying far back where you're not the focus, they're not trying to kill you, and you're able to still get shots in and build up your mech. That was good. Yep. Good awareness on the side. Again, I'd be a little bit closer. Stay up in the corner. That's where your team is. There we go. Your team taking damage from the side. You want to try and pay attention? The Zenyatta moved out. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Matrix and back up. You're pretty low. Nope. Don't turn around. Turning around will get you killed. So you want to just Matrix, walk backwards, and then when you're a little bit safer, fly away.
Okay.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Enemy contact.
I honestly don't have much to say about that. Like, there's a lot of things that I could have done differently in that situation, but I don't think, like, none of it's super relevant to the overall flow of the game right now. Like, I'd basically be saying things like, just be more aware of where the enemies are, but that's not something that'll make much difference for you right now. So I would be a lot closer to your team. You're too far away. And again, using cover. You're taking the damage, but didn't back up to cover when you were taking that damage. So now that you're out of mech, you should be looking for where it's safe and backing away. You were heading in the right direction, just
A little too late.
I know it's not easy playing when someone's actively talking about what you're doing and trying to and giving you feedback or critiquing, because but yeah, so don't worry about if you're doing it wrong or whatever. It's just, this will hopefully be a record for you to look back at later that you can use to inform future gameplay. Yeah, they're just following your team in. Taking a lot of damage there. I'd be thinking about flying to where my team is, or at least falling to where they are. So if your whole team is basically dead right now, your best course of action is to kill yourself by jumping on one of those mines. You don't want to stay alive longer. Now you're going to respawn further away from your team. So if your whole team dies, the best thing you can do is die in a way that doesn't feed the enemy ult charge. So either jump off the map or die to an enemy ultimate, because they won't get any ult charge from that. Yep, there's no one in there, so you really shouldn't do anything. You don't have a team right now in there. Going in would just be giving them more charge. And if your team wants to go in and do dumb things, they can do that, but you shouldn't build that habit. So I don't want you to stop practicing throwing your bomb, because it is a very powerful tool and very good to be able to do well. You will get play the game after play of the game by doing that well, but I want you to understand the value of not throwing it as well. Like the number of times that you'll see yourself end up in exactly that situation, even once you've mastered being able to place it exactly where you want it and time it right, you still won't always be able to guarantee kills. And at the same time, the enemy could use that time where you don't have your mech to do bad things. So when your team was up there, your Reinhardt and Mei were up there, you should have been there with them. You shouldn't have stayed back so far. So your Mei's in there holding her own. Again, that's the kind of time you can be up a little bit more aggressively. There's plenty of cover on this bridge. Right there, though, you're trying to move forward while taking a lot of damage. There's stuff going on behind you. Might be an easier target to hit. Behind you. There's still a Hammond here somewhere. Yep.
The payload is approaching its destination.
Nerf this. Taking off.
Yeah, so you just need to get right onto the point as fast as you can now to just get in here. Yep. Now pick something and just keep shooting at it. Good idea. There we go. Chase her down. You can boost. Yeah, don't let some wimpy little Anna walk away from you. You can fly. You have a giant combat mech. Use your thrusters. You just let her walk away to safety. One of the most helpless feelings you can have in this game is when you absolutely know you can't get away and there's a giant pink robot flying at you. Make them feel fear. Yeah, no one should outrun you except maybe a Tracer every now and then and maybe a Hammond. Anyone else, you want to chase them, you can get them. It's just picking the right time for it.
So, like in this moment, using the ult.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. There's still 50 seconds. Even if you killed the entire team, they come back and you don't have your ult. So again, what you should have been able to do there when you were in your mech was turn around and keep your team from dying to the Bastion.
30 seconds remaining.
That is not looking promising. But now, hopefully, you can get out there and you have your ultimate. So just fly out there. By the time you get your next boost up, you should be flying onto the point and trying to sit it right on top. Try to get. Oh no! Don't. Yeah. So you don't want to throw it. You would want to fly, land on top of the cart, and then activate it so that it sits there and clears them away.
Okay.
Anyway, so something I noticed throughout the course of the night here. Your awareness of what's on your screen has been pretty fantastic. You've been able to pick out targets well, and your aim has been pretty good. But you haven't reacted very quickly to stuff that's behind you. Sometimes not even reacting at all, like in the case of that Bastion.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people give much thought to their audio equipment when they're starting out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine, but at a certain point, like you only see something like maybe a 90-degree cone of vision out in front of you, and the rest of that sphere of whatever's going on is there for you in the form of audio. So you can tell exactly where stuff is if you have things set up well and you have good headphones.
Okay.
So the same way like if someone started knocking on your door, you would know immediately where that sound was and turn and look at it. When you
Mhm.
hear a bastion start shredding your team, you should be freaking out, going, "Oh my gosh, there's a bastion here!" Or likewise with any ultimate or any ability that shouldn't be there. The way the
Mhm.
audio is balanced in Overwatch is so that if you can hear it, it's probably an enemy. They make the enemy sounds a lot louder than your teammates.
Okay.
So I don't know how much you've played around in your settings, but if you go into the options menu and look at sound at the very bottom, there's a setting called Dolby Atmos for headphones.
Mhm.
Make sure that's turned
It's
on.
yeah, it's off.
Turn that on, and then do literally anything in the game. And so basically that setting virtualizes 3D space around you, so you can hear where things are coming from. 'Cause without
Okay.
that, basically you've just got left and right. You can hear kind of if things are on the left or kind of on the right. With Dolby Atmos, you can tell even if things are, well, like at varying angles. It makes it a lot clearer.
Okay.
Yeah, so that should help you a lot. And then, yeah, really just trial and error, learning from negative experiences where,
Mhm.
like, oh, darn, I got shredded by something that was behind me. And learn, even just becoming that little bit paranoid. There are a couple times I'm sure you saw me just check behind me, and I know I mentioned that at least once. I'm like, okay, I'm just checking, make sure there's no one here because I wasn't sure if I'd heard something or not, and so I turned around.
Mhm.
Um, as a tank, you fail your job of advancing the front line if you let the enemy get behind you. And Diva especially. So okay, it'll happen, but you go back and enforce that by flying back in and saying, tracer, no tracing. Get out of here. Get rid
Yeah.
of the tracer. Get rid of the Genji. Get rid of the bastion that took a whole minute probably to walk all the way around the map to set up and then shred your team.
Mhm.
Or at the very least, you give your team a couple of seconds with your matrix where they then can react because maybe they weren't as fast or as good as you. So being that little bit, because even if you didn't notice it until they started doing the damage, you're a tank. You're not going to die immediately. But so you throw up your matrix, and using communications, you can yell at your team to respond to them, yell at them that there's a bastion over here, and all of a sudden those sorts of plays don't work on you anymore.
Okay.
Even if you don't yell anything, the fact that you could use matrix and distract him, or um, yeah, just in general, protect your team a little bit, give them that extra time so they can react to it, um, can make a world of difference.
Mhm.
All right. Uh,
Sound
yeah, so we're gonna have to stop there. We're a little bit over time. That's fine. But yeah, any last questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, just quick recap. You don't need to be overly aggressive and flying in. Wait for the right opportunities, and other than that, just try and be with your team. Be as
Okay.
far forward with your team as you can, and you start taking damage. Know where you can back up to. Don't necessarily be trying to find where your healers are. Just kind of, you know go backwards, right? Turn
Mhm.
matrix, walk backwards to the closest cover, which you should always be playing knowing that you have about 2 seconds to get to cover, right? So you don't want to be further than 2 seconds of walking away from cover, because that's what your matrix will be for. And then once you get to that cover, you can fly safely back to wherever your team is to get healed.
Okay.
Right. So once you get to cover, you have that little extra time to think and take a breather, and then go. And basically, it's just rinse and repeat. Stay alive, and you will have a big impact on the game.
Okay. So I'll do all these, and then I'll probably let you see how it goes after I've learned to really put these what you've said into practice.
Cool. Well, I look forward to seeing what you do with it all in the future, whenever that might be. And
Mhm.
yeah, feel free to hang out in the Discord. We have community game night tomorrow night, so everyone's welcome to join. We just play pickup games with people of all skill levels. It's
Mhm.
a wholesome environment and lots of fun. So stop by if you'd like.
Sounds good. Okay. Thank you.
Good night. Take care.
You have a good night. Bye.
All right. Coaching complete. And I am very tired. So I don't think I'm even going to play anymore. I might just stop. Yes. Stopping. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.